I grew up slowly figuring out what it was. No one really gave me a solid definition. No one, until my parents sat me down and explained the differences between my younger siblings, myself, and my older brother had. But it didn't really stick with me until I heard that he left, but not on his own, not willingly. He was on the other side, they said, deported. But why him, if we were all here? I was only 9 years old, in pigtails, with an obsession for the color pink. I was still in my elementary school years. I realized that they didn't want us. We weren't like them. We were different. We were aliens, human, but certainly not like them. We were a category all on its own. I never understood why. If we went to work like they did, contributed like they did, always saw my father come home from chasing the sun, something they would rather pay to be done than do it themselves. Without trying, my teenager years consisted of running to avoid being stuck in a box that they constantly put us in, constantly looking over my shoulder. When you're 9, all you're supposed to be worried about is not getting tagged on a playground. I felt like I was in a twisted game of tag, trying to stay alive by keeping my parents safe. But as more naive white people took office, took the position of power at the big house, the more terrified I became. I ended up, like that one summer, calling for my internship to make sure my house had not been intruded due to ICE raids. Those are worries most privileged people don't even have to think about. I called because I knew if they were taken, I knew my life would completely change as being the oldest born on American soil. A daughter called home to make sure her parents were not ripped away from her like paper. My life would change because I would have to take care of 3 younger children if my parents disappeared. I would have to drop my dream of going to college if I wanted them in my custody as an 18-year-old. But I believe that just as we can go dark one minute, we can embrace the light of diversity with open arms as we begin to wipe the idea of foreign off of our country. Taking us down with raids or scary propaganda will begin to have no effect of the increase of peace and unity. Ultimately, our hands will no longer bleed from fighting and our voices being heard. Without really seeing it, we are closer to a revolutionary future as our diverse numbers begin to rapidly multiply. So I stand with my brothers and sisters. Even though I was lucky enough to have been born in a privileged country, I will certainly not stop fighting and advocating for those suffering due to the absence of love from the parents due to governmental policy. I refuse to stop until we receive the services that many risk their lives to receive, whether it be funding for those wanting to go to school or services to provide more substantial living for those living in a low-income neighborhood. I wish to dream for a world without barriers, without people pointing fingers telling us we can't do it.